You got mine. I'm Bob Ostrom. I'm your Sergeant Armstrong today. We have a packed schedule. That's why we're starting a little bit early. Can't hear me? No one's ever said they can't hear me. I don't hear my wife sometimes, but that's a different story. I'm Bob Ostrom, Sergeant Arms. It's a packed schedule. The Sergeant Arms presentation today will be me and Christy and Marcus presenting our trip to Dominican Republic to build houses, which I hope are still standing. Do we have any visitors today?
Sure.
Yes.
He's visiting Rotary.
Yes, I'm visiting from North.
Oh, you're visiting Rotarian?
Yeah.
Fine. Where are you from?
Capital City. We meet in Glenwood Avenue in the Carolina Club.
I didn't know that was a Raleigh accent. That's very nice.
Yeah, very niche.
Yes, another visiting Rotarian, our speaker for today.
I'll introduce her. It's going to be our speaker today, Dr. Akuuz and Professor Akuuz and her husband. And they split time between. Boy, I'll tell you what, you just took a third of my presentation.
You're taking my time, so just stop.
No, that's okay. They split time between Istanbul and Greensboro. So.
Any other visitors?
Yes, well, I had Jeff Hunt here, an old friend. He's been here several times. He's still very happy to come back. Very nice. And another friend here, James Summers, Ellie, who I've known for almost 50 years. And finally, she's coming.
I have a guest today who's doing double duty, Rob Everett. He's the past president of the Durham Club. He's my guest. I'm a visiting Rotarian, and he went to Dominican Republic with us and was nice enough to come today. So, what?
I have guests.
Oh, you have guests.
I have people that you know, Teacher Supply Saw from the Public School Foundation. I have the ladies here. Sarah, Nadia, and Alison. You guys, you know them.
Anybody else? All right. Good. So we went to Dominican Republic to build houses, and we'll tell you what the process was and everything else. But when I got there, they sort of asked who has experience and who doesn't, and it was sort of weird. A lot of people didn't have a lot of experience, and trying to figure out some of this stuff. And I know when I was standing there on the first day working with one of the Rotarians, he would take a nail, he would bang it into the wall, and he would throw one over his shoulder, take another nail, bang it in, and throw another one over his shoulder. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Half of these are defective. The point is pointing towards me." Well, I've done woodworking, so I said, "No, that's not what it is. Those are for the other side of the house." I told him. But the fact that they let a bunch of yahoos, I'm sure Omar would not let any of us on his work site. That's for sure.
I mean, is it a free rate? I mean,
But you got to buy us lunch. But I will say that even though, we were not experienced, this is the Tacoma Bridge, built in 1940. This was done with engineers and real guys who knew what the hell they were doing.
Tacoma Bridge, Washington, opened only a few months ago, was built to cost of over $6 million. But misfortune overtakes the great. These are some of the most amazing pictures ever recorded by a newspaper. The actual maps of the world.
That's the bridge.
Oh my God. Okay, that'll make me want to go on a bridge. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Boy.
So that was a bunch of guys that supposedly knew what the hell they were doing. I thought that was amazing. It took all that time to build the thing, and it came down within like hours. But the most amazing thing was, see the people, they were just walking slowly past this thing. It must have been a different world in the 1940s. It would have been chaos if it had been today. So.
Hey, Bob, we can't hear you. How far you on the mic?
I was amazed at the.
There you go. Talk to the mic.
I was amazed that the folks were so. All right, I will.
Oh God, here's the whole thing. Look how cute.
All right, so this was our Rotary trip on Middle March 37314. We're District 7710, and in Dominican Republic is 4060. The city we're in is Santiago de los Caballeros. Lorenzo, don't make fun of my pronunciation, but that is St. James of the Knights. And then you can also look at it as it was. Christy, Marcus, and Bob's excellent adventure. It was a good adventure, and Rob's too, two Robs. So this is when we arrived there, and this thing here, this big circle. I had two giant bags. There's actually a very nice guy who's a Rotarian in Maryland named Gene Deems, and he runs a non-for-profit. And what he does is any Rotarian is going anywhere in the world, he will for free give you, this is 50 pounds. What it weighs, it's 49 actually, but 50 pounds of medical supplies for free that you can take anywhere in the world. Which sounded like a great idea until I had my backpack, my suitcase, and then I had 50 pounds of crap. But I'll show you the stuff later. So this is us landing in the airport. These are our wonderful members of the Rotary down there who came to meet us when we landed and got us going. There were 10 Rotary clubs with 33 Rotarians, and then the first night, we went over to a guy named David Crow's house. David Crow's an interesting guy. At age 25, he fell in love with a Dominican woman. He's telling us this whole story. He'll tell anybody that'll sit there and listen to him on the bus. But he decided to move to Dominican Republic at age 25 and got married. Didn't speak a word of Spanish. Didn't know what he was going to do for a living, but he was in love. So he moved down there. They're still married. He's like almost 70 years old. They're still married. He's a nice guy, but he's one of the few that speaks English. Most of the people we dealt with, the vast majority, did not speak any English. So this is David's house, and it was a meet and greet. So we got to meet because there was 33 of us, and besides Marcus and Christy, none of us knew anybody. So the guy who did all this is over there, Rick Carnago. He's been doing this for 14 years. He's had these trips down to Dominican Republic to build. The first 7 years, he built latrines. The last 7 years, he's been building houses. So I told him they gave him a very nice plaque this year for all the houses he's built. And I told him it's a damn good thing he started building houses, because if he kept building latrines, he'd have a big giant plaque that said he was the latrine guy. But he did that first. The guy next to him, Martin Futold, is a lawyer from Central Johnson County. And Martin is like the second in charge. He's been doing this for 10 years. And he takes care of our daily schedules, and those are all the other clubs that came. So these are the people that keyed our success. So that's David, the guy who moved down here when he was 25 years old. That's Maximo. Maximo is a builder, and he does, you'll see, he does some of the work ahead of time when we show up, and if there's a problem, he's the one that organizes to get us all the wood and everything else. And that's Franklin, and poor Franklin had the hardest job. He was driving this bus. Nobody pays attention to lights. Nobody pays attention. Most of them don't have lights. Most of the roads are giant potholes in them. There's little motorcycles, no helmets, obviously. The motorcycles go in and out, and Franklin is the calmest guy in the world. The one seat you don't want is the one, there's always one seat open next to him, because you can see what the hell he's going through. It was harrowing. The other thing is, you can see that David and Franklin have the unofficial East Chapel Hill Rotary hat, which I had made for people, and I gave it to them. I thought they would throw it in the trash can, but they wore it every day, so I was happy about that. On Sunday, they wanted to be nice to us. We went to the cacao factory, which is the cocoa factory. This is woman finding hair. That's how they used to grind it, like mortar and pestle. And then they had a band come and play. This is what they look like, the giant pods. Then over time they turn red and then yellow. This guy cuts them down. The way they explain it, you have to cut it at the base of the pod. You can't hit the tree because he's an expert. Hit the tree, you injure the tree, and it won't grow anymore. It won't grow another pod. And that is a giant scarecrow they stuck in the tree to keep the birds away from it. I don't know if it works or not, but he's there. And that's what the pods look like when they're totally ripe or yellow. And we ate right out of the pods, and it's actually pretty good, honestly. That's what they look like. And then they have this refrigerated. They keep a certain temperature, refrigerated countertop, like a marble countertop, and that's how they take care and make all the cocoa and stuff. And so they had us go through all the different percentages of cocoa, and you probably know this, but anything above 70 is considered healthy because it's got a lot of resveratrol. Anything below 70 is just chocolate. They say that white chocolate is not chocolate. It's cream and sugar, and don't even consider it chocolate at all. So Monday we started building. This is what the houses look like and where we went to, an area called Los Cocos, and it's really bad. I mean, most of them don't have bathrooms, no sanitation, they don't have sinks, electricity, running water, and this is like maybe 20 minutes outside of the big city. And then it was hammer time. So at that point, everybody, we brought our own, you had to buy and bring all your own equipment with you. And the plan was you knew that when you did this, you were going to leave it for them at the end. So we didn't bring any of our equipment on, we left it all for them. And so the first word you learn in Spanish is clavo, which is nail. And that's what when you're at the work site, that's all you hear all day long. Somebody wants a nail. So all we did was, everything was put together with nails for the most part. So our objective was to build 4 houses and a playground in Los Cocos in 4 days. So Marcus and Christy are gonna come up here and talk about, Marcus is gonna talk about houses and Christy's gonna talk about the playground. Right. So this is the playground, which is nothing. And those are the houses, and Maximo's company put down the concrete and the framing, and then the rest up to us.
Then we're sorted. Okay. So it was kind of a misnomer that we're going to be building houses. I mean, we really didn't build houses per se. As Bob showed you in the previous picture, Maximo's owns a construction company, and they put down the foundations, they put down the framing of the house. Luckily, the roof, because it rained there almost every day, at least for 20 minutes, half an hour or something. And what we did is completed the outside shingles, clapboards, whatever, boards, and did the inside partitions, and then painted the whole thing. There's actually another structure attached to the house behind it. It's a very nice concrete structure. It was the bathroom with a shower, a toilet, and a sink. So, you know, these houses are really not bad. So, talking to the mic. Oh, you can hear me. So, in the 14 years that the Rotary's been building houses there, they've built 24. So Rob and I were assigned to house 24. Christy was assigned to the playground, and we had a team of about, I guess it was 7 of us, and we pretty much spontaneously split into 3 teams. So Rob and I think Kurt worked on one side of the house, Robinson right there, Kevin, and I guess Peggy worked on the other side of the house, and then the other person was Dana, and she worked on the back of the house. I mean, it was interesting work. I hadn't nailed anything in years. I kept thinking, at home I have an electric nail gun. I really could have used that, but the nailing went really well. And the one word that you always heard, as Bob said, was hollow. We were all, the nails were, this was a pretty primitive situation. Nails were in a box in the corner of one of the rooms, and we always had to go find our nails. So this is how the work proceeded. Bob wants me to point out that $35 is not American dollars, that's local pesos, which is about 50 cents on the potato chips there. That's house 24. It was a mess. The lot was very muddy. Our shoes, our clothes were covered in mud the first few days. And the rain didn't help either. But eventually they started to bring in soil and to create kind of a driveway next to the house, which helped with the mud situation slightly. Now, these houses essentially are donated to the local people by the Rotary organization in the Dominican Republic. Now, the only caveat is that they need to own the land that the house is going to be built on. So we're assuming that there was a house, kind of a shack, if you want to call it, that was originally on the house, much like the pictures that Bob showed. That was torn down, and then the foundations and everything else were put in there. The family did help us. They, as you can see, did the painting of some of the trim that went on the outside of the house. Here we have our friend Pedro. I don't think he was terribly happy that we were there. We were a little bit too meticulous in putting up the boards on the outside. He wanted to do things a lot quicker. He was a professional carpenter. And he had a machete. And when you needed to trim something, like around the windows, he used the machete. We would go in with the saw so with the machete. And there he is on the inside of the house. As I said, I don't think he was terribly happy with these white guys from the U.S. were building houses down there. He put the door of the bathroom on backwards. So the bathroom had an exterior door, and he put it on backwards so that it would lock from the outside. So if you went into the bathroom, I mean, it just didn't. We fixed it.
That's a timeout room.
So what?
Timeout room.
Yeah, exactly. This is Darby. He is also a construction worker. He was kind of an oddball. Half the time he wasn't doing anything, but I think David was able to get him who's between jobs. And there's Pedro again, our professional carpenter. The last few days, the electricians showed up and wired the house. It was fantastic. There was about 6 of them. They worked very quickly and did the electric. Oh, what? I'll move along. Okay. We'll tell you about the
garbage.
the circle thing a little bit later. So the inside of the house was a partition. There are 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and sort of a dining room. We built a very nice countertop there. And the last 2 days, they brought in furniture. So the Rotary community there also provided them with a refrigerator, a stove, furniture, and so forth. So it was a very nicely set up house in the end. Richard Rumbach was more or less our guide. Was experienced in building houses there, so he would help us along. There's the house, it's finished. Keep moving. House 24, keep moving.
Oh.
We put up a sign on top of the house. There was a dedication at house 21. That house was dedicated to Rickson, Coronado. I don't know what that's about.
That's your house.
The houses are very attractive when they're big.
Thank
Great
you.
lot. This is the parking lot. The playground.
So I was on the playground build, and our group going sort of inspired the playground because they realized with us going that their bus was full for one thing, nobody else could go. But also that would be too many people on 4 houses, and they were looking for another project. They were able to get the land for the playground donated by the city for the Rotarians to build the playground. When we got there, it was piles of gravel. And then it rained the first day, the entire day. So we basically got nothing done the first day. And then we got to work. putting in the posts, and building and painting, and ended up with a bathroom, down at the bottom is a gazebo. There's plans to put a large tree behind the gazebo to provide more shade. And over on the far side is a school bus, which turned out really cute by the end. There's also a swing set and teeter-totters. You can see the school bus. The party at House 21 kind of moved to the playground afterwards, and there was a big dedication. The mayor came and spoke a few words. It was super rewarding. It's one of my favorite ways of traveling and experiencing going to a foreign country. If you guys have an opportunity to do something like this, I really recommend it. Loud. So, this is the I don't remember his name. Orlando was the community corps president for that area. Okay.
I'll make it quick. So we went out we had group dinners every night. The prices on the menu would freak you out. It was $2,000 for steak. As we said, dollar mark, 2,000, but it was 60 to 1. We did some traveling. This is their Golden Gate Bridge. The girls saw somebody walking with a bag that was moving, so they asked what was in the bag. They little puppies. They took the puppies. They gave them to people. This is what their dogs look like down there. They are not in good shape at all. And then this is what their electricity looks like, because when they have to put in new wires, they don't take down the old wires. We had lots of beer, because you can't drink the water, and these guys went and got us beer, and Rob and I shared some beer. We gave them stuff, we gave them suitcases, we brought down clothes that we bought for them, we left them our clothes. I turned 35 tops, I gave them to the kids, but the adults liked them more. This was Las Mariposas, which was the women who started the revolution to get rid of the dictator Trujillo in 1971. So these women are on the money, and there's butterflies, because they're called Mariposas butterflies all over the country. This was when we walked in, this is what our hotel looked like, and all these paintings were under there. Turns out this is a very famous painter, and Rob and I bought 2 paintings. This is the club meeting. They had dancers, Felix, just so you know. They had dancers, they had rum. This is Christy drinking rum out of a coconut. So we have up our game. This is their meeting. I delivered the medical supplies that I showed you in the beginning. With Dr. Garcia here, they were very grateful. There's a lot of fellowship. We all had a great time meeting new people, and I wanted to thank them. And this is their president, Kenzo Yamamoto, which I know is a very Hispanic name, but that's their president. And so for you, Felix, we have some parting gifts. This is a document which says that we were there as our club for our first visit. This is appreciation for our club going. This is an unofficial, East Chapel Hill unofficial, because it has nothing to do with Rotary cap. Here's 2 hermetically sealed cigars. And the one thing you've been waiting for.
Yes.
Here is your, you can see we exchanged them, and they did give us one while we were there. So,
thank you so much, Bob, Marcus, and Christy, for representing us in the Dominican Republic. Big shout out to them. And here is the good news. We've joined. It's too loud? Oh, I thought everybody was complaining. Exactly. All right.
It's a user error.
All right. So here's a good news. We have joined 13 other clubs for a global grant to be part of this project. So next year, most of us, or a big group of us, will be able to do it. Right? So that's good news. I know we are running short of time, but I have quick announcements. One is it's our sincerely gratitude to thank our chief, Selisa, for hosting us last week. That was a very special program. And also want to thank our superstars, Randy, Linda, and Mike Roach for working so hard to make it happen. And then don't forget, May 13th, we have our traditional steak night. You don't want to miss the Mike Clayton and his group cooking. And we signed up an Evite punch ball. And if you want to sign up, traditionally we have a sign up sheet on this table. So feel free after the meeting
It's on all the tables.
all tables, I understand all tables, to sign up. And then today we have our good friends, Teacher Supply Store, Public School Foundation. We have a photo op to congratulate the $25,000 that went to all our teachers last week. Each teacher got $25, and that was really appreciated. What else? I think everybody got an email about the Western North Carolina volunteer work from May 15th to 17th. So if you plan to be up there, just please sign up and continue supporting this community. I'll give this opportunity, Lorenzo, to take just a few minutes before we call upon our VIP guests.
Hey, everybody. Who remembers what they were doing when they were 17 years old and had summer coming up in front of them? Well, I'm pleased to introduce to you Claire Frickless, who is going to be living large and making memories as a short-term summer exchange student sponsored by our club. She's going to Finland this summer and will be paired with let's call her an exchange sister, who is also coming to Chapel Hill and who we will meet soon. Let me introduce you to Claire. Claire, just say hi to our club. Tell us a little bit about yourself,
Okay.
What you want to do, what you're looking forward to.
Okay, my name is Claire. I'm a junior at East Chapel Hill High School. And first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for sponsoring me. I'm really excited to go to Finland. I'll definitely come back and share pictures and all my memories. Some good things about me are I like nature, I like hiking, I love animals, I love hanging out with my friends, concerts. But I guess like how I got involved with Rotary or how I met everyone was kind of by accident. I'm part of the Rotary Club at school, and we had a service project at the Secu house. I kind of got a little lost and ended up going into the kitchen where the East Chapel Hill Rotary Club was there, and they invited me to come, just help out with them. So I did. I've been trying to go back every month, every third Thursday. I've been busy with school for the past few, but I'm hoping to get back soon. But yeah, and I'm really excited for Finland. I'm looking forward to going to Lapland. My exchange sister has a summer cottage there, so I think that'll be really fun. Just getting cooler weather than here, so.
Claire, thank you. And obviously, young people like this don't happen by accident. Claire's dad, Ethan, is here. Ethan, stand up, please. Congratulations. Thank you.
don't smoke cigars, so anybody who smoke.
We really have people to raise up their hands.
Two people raise up their hands, so I'll pass along. So let me call upon Mike Roach to introduce our guest.
I'm gonna make this quick, but it's not less important because it's not quick. You have read your bio, you've read the scuttlebutt. Everything you need to know about our guest today is in their profession, on her profession, is in there. So let me tell you a little bit about what you don't know. Well, you did learn a little bit when I introduced her. She is from Istanbul. She and her husband spend time between Istanbul and Greensboro. She's also a Rotary member in Istanbul and does go to the Green Patrol every once in a while. We got to know her because her daughter is on the board here at the Sandcar Center. And so she was the one that brought us to her attention. And what I'm most excited about, how many of you deal with chronic pain? Every so often. Come on, I know some of you are, well, the pain is too hard to put your arm up, I know. So, well, anyway, she's gonna talk to us today about her findings and her profession in chronic pain and give us some suggestions on how to manage it. Today we have Dr. and Professor Gulseren Akuuz and her husband, Risa.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
First of all, I want to thank you for the kind invitation, and it's truly a pleasure to be here today. In my presentation, I would like to briefly talk about why chronic pain happens, and more importantly, what we can realistically do to manage it better. Of course, this is repeat for you, but you know, I prepared a slide for that. Before my talk, I want to ask you, have you ever experienced pain lasting weeks or even months, affecting your sleep, your mood, your daily life? Do you have? If yes, oh yeah. You are not alone, because millions of people worldwide are living with this. And yeah, this is an official definition of pain, but you know, it is very important for understanding pain. According to ISP, this is our big association in the world, the International Association for the Study of Pain. According to this association, pain is an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience associated with actual or potential tissue damage. Sometimes we have a real damage, but sometimes we think there is a relationship between that damage and our pain. Pain is not only physical, but also emotional, which means, for example, there are two people who have same injury, but you know, the feeling is very different. Let me give an example, simple example. When you cut your finger with a knife in the kitchen, what happens in our body? First, fast conducting pain fibers send a message straight to the brain's pain processing area. At that time, we feel, or I mean, you feel an intense and sharp pain in your finger. And then slower conducting pain fibers start to activate. At that time, you feel a dull, aching pain that goes deeper and lasts longer. We know that pain is a very intelligent system. It protects us and warns us about harmful injuries. But sometimes it goes wrong. And at that time, pain becomes the problem itself. So we can say that this is chronic pain. One slide before, it was acute pain, but now we are talking about chronic pain. When does pain become chronic? In the past, it was defined as lasting more than 6 months, but today it is often considered 3 months. In some publications, we see chronic pain can be independent from time. It is very interesting. Sometimes we also contribute to this process. Fear, anxiety, worry, or not following the treatment plan, all of them contribute to chronic pain. I mean, it supports, it exaggerates our pain. When we compare acute and chronic pain, we can see that they are very different. You see, acute pain is protective, as I told you before. It is short-term and it usually resolves, completely healing. Chronic pain, in the right side you see, on the other hand, it is not protective. It lasts longer and often persists. As an example, postoperative pain, ankle strain, or low back strain, something like that. But as a chronic pain, chronic low back pain, fibromyalgia syndrome, restless leg syndrome, or widespread pain, and so on. Chronic pain is one of the most common health problems in the world. It does not only the body, but also any other activities such as daily living activities or functionality or quality of life. All of them influence from chronic pain, the presence of chronic pain. It is difficult to treat completely, and sometimes it can lead to disability. So I can say that chronic pain causes many other problems in a person's life. Many patients don't suffer only from pain. They suffer from what pain takes away from them. So our goal is not only to control pain, to reduce pain, but to help people live better. There are a lot of chronic pain conditions, such as chronic low back pain, fibromyalgia syndrome, osteoarthritis, migraine, restless leg syndrome, temporomandibular joint disorder, and so on. For example, osteoporosis can lead to chronic pain. Who knows? When we talk about chronic pain, we are not referring to a single disease or cause. For example, fibromyalgia can coexist with chronic low back pain, or migraine can overlap with rheumatoid arthritis. So chronic pain is much more complex condition which makes treatment challenging. Before discussing treatment options in chronic pain, we should first ask, can chronic pain really be completely eliminated? It is the most important question for us. Our treatment goal is not only to control pain, I'm talking about chronic pain also, of course, but also to maximize, improve quality of life, and reduce the need of medications, and also to help people get back to work, get back to the normal daily life. We know that chronic pain can be managed and people can regain control over their lives. What is a realistic goal? Total elimination of pain is not a realistic goal. We don't aim zero pain. In general, we cannot do that. But success means moving better, sleeping better, and living better. It is a realistic goal for us. Today, I will focus on non-pharmacological options. Of course, medication is important, but most guidelines emphasize that non-drug strategies play a major role in chronic pain management. A multidisciplinary team, personalized treatment plan, active patient participation are essential. We start treatment simply and proceed step by step. Now let's see these steps together. Lifestyle changes are a key part of treatment in the chronic pain. Exercise, Pilates, physical therapy modalities, aqua therapy, manual therapy, integrative needle-based methods, mind-body approach, and psychological support are the other important components of treatment. Exercise is like a medicine in the treatment of chronic pain because movement is the best for all of us, not only for treating chronic pain, but also for all of us. Even small, regular movements make a big difference. Rest is helpful in acute pain, in the presence of acute pain. But in chronic pain, too much rest makes pain worse. So the goal is to keep moving safely and gradually. Pilates consists of gentle movements and focuses on core stability and control. It improves posture and spinal alignment while increasing body awareness. So we can say that there is very supportive publications on Pilates, the efficacy of Pilates, especially for low back pain. Sometimes patients cannot move because of pain. At that time, physical therapy modalities help reduce pain and improve function. But I would like to remind you, we use physical therapy agents to open the door, but exercise is what keeps it open. Akuuz therapy has several subtypes, such as hydrotherapy, balneotherapy, thalassotherapy, or spa therapy. All of them use the natural properties of water, especially warm water. Is very nice for all of us, I think. You know, it helps relax muscles, reduce pain, and make movements easier. Manual therapy includes hands-on techniques, such as massage, all kinds of massage, soft tissue mobilization, joint mobilization, and manipulation. Help reduce pain and improve movement. If a patient has joint or muscle tension, it helps too much. You see a list of integrative needle-based methods we use in the treatment of chronic pain. These methods all use the needles, but they are based on different principles. Acupuncture focuses on traditional energy pathways, you know, Yang and Yin theories. Drugs, muscle trigger points, especially it is in the treatment of myofascial pain syndrome. Neural therapy focuses the nervous system, especially for healing neural pain. Despite these differences, they aim to reduce pain and improve function. But please be careful. These methods do not replace conventional treatment. They support, yes. They help, yes, but they do not replace, for example, exercise or cognitive behavioral therapy or physical therapy modalities. Just supporting and helping. In this section, I would like to focus on mind-body approach and psychological support, which are very effective in managing chronic pain by increasing mind-body awareness. I believe these methods are sometimes overlooked in clinical practice. Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga are the traditional movement-based practices combining gentle, slow, controlled movements, breathing, and mental focus. There are some differences between them, but the aim is the same. I mean, these methods improve balance and flexibility, reduce stress, and relax muscles. Importantly, they are low impact, well tolerated, and particularly beneficial for older patients like us. We all know that stress, anxiety, and low mood can make chronic pain worse. That's why psychological support is a key part of chronic pain treatment. Simple strategies can help patients cope better. Especially, we prefer cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness-based therapy under the umbrella of psychotherapy, you know. And I want to say to you again, psychological support is not optional, it is essential. Finally, what should we do, both as doctors and as patients, when facing in chronic pain? Let's start what helps. Stay active, manage stress, sleep well, stay connected. These are simple but very powerful habits. But is it possible? I'm not sure. What not to do? I mean, just as in, what to avoid is just as important as what we do. So, too much rest, fear of movement, which means kinesiophobia, social isolation, and overuse of painkillers. What is the role of patient and what is the role of doctor in the presence of chronic pain? First, the patient is not passive. They are at the center of treatment. It starts with small steps. Daily habits can make a big difference, so we should change our lifestyle first. As a doctor, our role is not only to prescribe, but to guide and support, provide individualized treatment plan, and also build trust with the patient. We know that pain may not always disappear, but this does not mean life stops. With the right approach, people can make better, live better, and live better, and also, sleep better. Because life can still more forward. And before I finish, I would like to leave you with a few key messages. Chronic pain is complex and multifactorial. It affects not only body, but also the brains, emotions, and also daily life. There is good news, it is manageable. But we must remember that successful management requires a combination of movement, mindset, proper medical care, in addition to active patient participation. This is my key message from today. Pain is not a symptom. It's a human experience. Understanding chronic pain is the first step to managing it. Thank you for your attention. I hope on time.
Oh, you're on time, all right. Any questions? There we go.
Hello, I'm a pain specialist too, and so I thought your talk. I said I'm a pain specialist as well, from the Department of Anesthesia world, and I found your talk, which is a very broad topic, to very concisely phrase in a way that the public can understand. One of the things that I found in treating pain patients, chronic and acute pain, is the thought that pain equates to damage and harm. And when pain continues prolonged, they feel that they're damaged or may make things worse by movement, by doing certain things. So you address the degree to which you try to convince a patient that that's actually part of the cure.
And you mean sometimes, you know, the patient has a damage and then pain has gone.
Yeah,
But
not even necessarily damage, but that the public pain indicates damage.
potential tissue damage.
Yes, but that's what they think it means, you know, even if there isn't a physiologic explanation. But because it equates to damage, they're therefore fearful that they will make things worse by doing movement and things that could exacerbate the situation. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on how you motivate that kind of patient.
Yeah, it's, thank you for your comment and the question. And you're right, sometimes the patient connects with pain. And when we check all the laboratory testing or imaging techniques, all of them is clear, but the patient continues to have pain. It's very complicated. It's very complicated because first we should understand how to feel patient with that. So, you know, it needs the multidisciplinary approach. For example, psychotherapy and Pilates or yoga, and also some medication, especially when the patient has more than one chronic pain, rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia. It overlaps the symptoms, and pain is getting more and more. At that time, in my clinical practice, I try to understand what is going on in his body, in her body, in the patient. And then I start to combine some medications and some therapy methods, physical therapy methods. For example, massage is very good option for them, and also neuropathic pain and nociceptive pain components for the medication I prescribe. And then I start to follow up, because only one control visit is not enough. So we should care his or her position, and we should try to understand what is going on under these symptoms, this symptom. So it is, I think, very difficult to answer, only because there is no one answer.
I have a question. Thanks so much for your interesting talk today. You mentioned briefly medication as a part of a quiver of tools that you would use. We're all familiar with the opioid epidemic.
Opioids?
Opioids, and how, at least in my layman's understanding, opioids were being over-prescribed. And I wondered if you would care to comment on that.
Thank you. And, you know, opiophobia is very common in the world, especially in my country. Pain medicine, even pain medicine specialists avoid to prescribe opioids in the presence of chronic pain, because in general it is not a good choice for them. In the past, maybe 20 years ago, one day one of my students graduated physical medicine and rehabilitation specialty in the United States, and then he came to Turkey, and she wanted to have an examination for doing for doing a clinical practice in Turkey. At that time, I was a jury member of this examination. When I asked her if the patient has fibromyalgia syndrome, what can you prescribe for her? She told me opioids. At that time, you know, I was surprised. And are you sure to prescribe opioids for the treatment of fibromyalgia? She said, yes, because we prescribe it in the United States. And it was a very interesting answer for me. And, you know, of course she passed, and we explained it is not a true preference for the fibromyalgia patients. And many years later, National Institute of Health, of course I read publications. There, you know, National Institute of Health signed a protocol with the pain medicine and the use of opioids should be decreased in the treatment of chronic pain. But in my country, everybody avoids to prescribe for many years, I mean. So today, I can say that, of course, I prescribe tramadol or codeine, I mean weak opioids, for the treatment of chronic pain as a supportive dosage, not a big dosage or large dosage, only supportive dosage. At that time it works, but I do not prescribe strong opioids for the treatment of chronic pain in my clinical practice.
I have a question for you over here. I learned a lot about the multiple techniques you can use other than medication today from your speech. So, just a quick question. How many here have taken medication for chronic pain, for pain? All right, almost everybody's got their hand raised. How many have tried Pilates based on the treatment that's needed, Pilates? How many have done Tai Chi? How many have done aquatherapy? Okay, my point was validated, which is we have been exposed to medication, unexposed to the physical treatment. And physical treatment isn't as much about physical therapy as it is maybe some of the alternatives. So what I learned today is that there are a lot of alternatives that we should be asking about when we're getting treatment plans beyond just medication and physical therapy. So thank you for that.
Well, I have another alternative. See, I have a back pain, for example, and I go onto the tennis court and I come across that fellow over there, or that fellow Vince, or Jim, or these people. I don't think of my back pain anymore. I think of my forehead or my backhand. Distraction. I just wondered, what is the connection between pain and brain? My messages have been interrupted, and so how is that possible? So is pain really just easily interrupted?
Different.
Can I have a joke? What is about your second brain? You know second brain? You have a second brain.
Well, the pain I start when I walk on the tennis court. I try to hold my back straight and so on. And then in a minute or two, my mind has moved to something else. So how can I move my mind always? Do I have to get on the tennis court?
Yeah. You know, my joke is about second brain. You know, second brain is our intestine. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hi, so you spoke a lot about motion, and we all know that that's good for pain. You spoke about some Asian practices like Tai Chi and Qigong. Does research show that there's something additive about those? Are they just motion like any other motion that we might do?
You know, the Asian style, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, or maybe Pilates, a little bit, all of them consist of very gentle, very kind, very slow and controlled movements. So if a person has pain, he doesn't want to move too much. So these gentle and slow movements work for that. So we prefer that. Unfortunately, in my country, we don't have a big salons, big fitness areas related to Tai Chi or Qigong. But in my work, when I was in the university, I worked with my student on a thesis. Is Pilates effective in the patients with osteoporosis? And is the Tai Chi effective in the patients with osteoporosis? Both is effective. We found that they worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We are going to exchange flowers.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, before I forget, I'm sure you enjoyed today's coffee, which was brought by courtesy of Zephyr Coffee. Is a new coffee shop in Durham, and they are on 3515 Witherspoon Boulevard in Durham. A big shout out for their outstanding coffee. Zephyr Coffee in Durham. Have a nice weekend. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.